Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next video in the mock interview series with UiPath Aspirant. For the people who are looking this series for the first time, in this series I am taking mock interview for candidate based on their resume, their experience and their skill set. Please note that this is just a mock interview. It is not for any client, any customer or any of the job opportunities. The format of the mock interview is absolutely simple. The candidate send me the resume, I set up some time, I take the mock interview and all the confidential details such as the name, the company name, the project information, everything remains confidential with me. Even the name which you see in the mock interview is changed. So you do not have to worry about any of the details. Once I receive the interview, I hide the details, we take the interview. At the end, I guide the candidate that what are the topics he needs to improve upon, and I also provide the feedback on the interview so that they can perform well in their live interview. In terms of cost, the cost of the mock interview is absolutely free for you. You don't have to pay me anything. You just have to send me your resume and we can set up a common time and I conduct a mock interview for you. In case your experience match this mock interview, you can go ahead and watch. But in case you are coming from a different experience, you can go back to the playlist. There we have a couple of mock interviews which are already taken. You can watch them, get some insight, and hopefully that should be helpful in your next interview. If you want to appear for such a mock interview, all you have to do is just drop me an email on the email ID which is available in the description. Having said that, let's get started with today's mock interview. Okay, so hi Priyanka, thank you for joining today for the mock interview. The
Mhm.
format of the mock would be simple. I'm going to ask you a question based on your resume. You have to answer me. And at the end, I'm going to tell you what are the questions you answered incorrectly and the areas you need to improve upon. Okay,
Okay.
great. So we can get started by having a quick introduction about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, myself, Priyanka, I have over 6+ years of experience in IT industry and last 3 years completely dedicated to UiPath automation. Throughout my RPA journey, I have worked on multiple projects that automated complex business process, resulting in significant time and cost savings to the organization. I have complete knowledge on identifying the right project for the automation, like creating from PDDs and SDDs, testing and code reviews, and perform UATs and deploy to the orchestrator. And all my process are in production right now. And coming to my current organization, I have done complete 8 end-to-end process, and other than that I worked on some of the bug fixes from the production and some of the enhancements for the already existing process in the production. And I have obtained my associate and advanced certification from the UiPath, like which shows my continuous learning and commitment to the UiPath field. Yep.
Great. Have you done any paid certification?
Yes, these two what I did is paid certifications.
Uh,
Yes.
Advanced developer and the associate?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you have done 8 projects right now. I want you to talk about any one of the project, right? Which is you have done end to end and you have complete
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and deployed to the production, right? What
Yes.
was the project, right? Give me that project information.
Yeah, one of my project was automating for rebooting the production servers,
Hmm,
like following the monthly patching activities. So we have monthly patching activities in the company. So after that, we have to reboot some servers. Okay, so I automated that process. So I divided this process into two. One is like dispatcher and other is the performer. Okay, coming to dispatcher, the bot first reads the Excel file that lists the servers for scheduling for the rebooting for that month.
hmm,
Okay, and then that's the way the dispatcher bot was finished. And then coming to the performer, there the actual process will start. The bot retrieving the queue items from the particular server information, And for that particular server, the bot logging into the RDC and opens the PowerShell to execute the log off command.
Hmm.
Okay, before rebooting the process, the bot sends an email to the the relevant groups informing that we are rebooting this particular server. So it send an email. So after rebooting the process, the bot wait for 3 minutes because we can't log in back again. So it's wait for 3 minutes, and then after that the bot again log in after 3 minutes. Then it's, if it is not successful, it wait for another 3 more minutes to log in the successful completion. Once again log in back into the server after rebooting, it checks for the downloads in the server. If it checks any downloads in the server, then it's grab the all the server information, the downloads information from that server, and it's read in the Excel sheet and then log out from the server.
Hmm.
And the same step repeat for the all the queue items in the orchestrator. And then end of the process, the bot sends and complete Excel information what it read from the downloads, and sends an final email to the stakeholders saying that the process is finished, the rebooting process is finished.
Okay,
Yeah,
and what is the frequency of this robot? Daily, weekly,
this is
monthly?
this is monthly process.
Okay, okay, understood. And what is the transaction item in this process?
The transaction item is the server information, the
Which is
server
added to the
name.
queue, right? Queue item.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, understood. I have some questions for you, right? So, for example, I give you an automation, right? So, I say that Priyanka, you have an automation where you
Mm-hmm,
have to automate a solution which involves
mm-hmm,
integration between a web application, a
mm-hmm.
database, and a very legacy system. Legacy, when I say it's a very old system,
Oh, okay.
right? So, you have to, let's say, simple terms, you have to take the data from the legacy system. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
put it into the database, and from the database you have to put it to a web application, right? So three applications are involved. Now
okay.
if I have to tell you that you have to design a solution in such a way
Mm-hmm,
that the
mm-hmm,
solution is scalable, it's good, it is maintainable, right? What would be
mm-hmm.
your approach of designing this solution?
Okay,
Understood the question?
so yeah, so how we can the picking the right project, right? What you mean to say?
No, the project is picked, right? This is the project, right? So you have to
Okay, this is the
read
project. Yeah,
read the data from the legacy system, put it into the database, and
a
from the
database,
database you put it into the web application, right?
web application. Okay.
So how would you design the automation?
Okay, so first I will log into the legacy system,
Hmm,
and then we grab the information. I mean, we scrap the information from the legacy,
hmm,
and then we upload the data into the Excel, sorry, SQL server,
hmm.
and then from the SQL server, we can directly we can enter into the web application, or we can export the data into the Excel sheet. From the Excel sheet, we can enter into the web application. The same, yeah.
Right, but how would you design it, right? When I say design, uh,
Okay,
would you design it in
okay.
dispatcher
Uh,
performer? Uh,
Um,
yeah.
no, we can do it in what RE framework also. Yeah, in the initialization state, we can read the data from the.
No, no.
Uh,
You need to just tell me the design, right? How would you design the solution? So, for
okay.
example, the automation which you told me, right? The design
Mm-hmm.
was it has a dispatcher, performer. Dispatcher reads the
Yes.
data, loads to the queue. The performer
Yes.
reads and process, right? What design you would take in this situation which I
Got it.
just shared here?
Yeah, got it. Yeah. So in the initialization, we load the. No,
Hmm,
actually, yeah, we can do all these steps. What are the applications we are using? We can inform the all information then init state in each state. So in the initial init all application state, and
mhm.
then there we can log into that legacy system, and
Mhm.
then we grab the information and we can use the add queue item. We can add all the data into the queue.
So, are you going to
uh,
use a dispatcher performer or only one RE framework?
One RE framework we can do in one RE framework.
But I want it to be a scalable solution, right? I want it to run into multiple robots.
multiple row. Then we can split into the dispatcher and performer process.
Okay, which data would come in dispatcher?
Okay, in the dispatcher, we grab the information from the legacy and then we send it to the queue. And from
Mm-hmm,
the queue, we can from through the performer process, we can get the transactions from the queue, and
mm-hmm.
then we can update. I mean, we can we can use the Excel activities to get the information from the SQL data and then process from the enter into the web application
Okay,
in
okay.
the performer.
Okay, let's say I have one more requirement, right? I
Mm-hmm,
want to
mm-hmm.
know, and this is a daily process, right? So let's say this is a daily process where
Okay.
uh, I have to know that what transaction you converted from legacy to the modern, right? Now I simply want to know, so let's say this automation you is running on daily 9 a.m. in the morning, right? So at the end of the day, I just want
Mm-hmm.
to know that, okay, Monday, you processed 10 items. Tuesday you process
Okay.
25. Thursday you process 5, right? So I just want a report at
Okay.
the end of the day in the same.
Okay.
Where would this part come into your design?
This is in the end process state where we can sending the email.
Hmm.
There we can get the all queue information, and then we can say that these are all the queues we processed it today.
But if in case I get any exception in the init, right, then also it will go to end process, right? So let's say
Yes.
you are in the init, you are not
Mm-hmm.
able to read the web application, then also it will go
Yes.
to end process, right?
End state. Yes.
So then I
Yes.
cannot write it in end process, right?
Yes. In that. Mm,
Understood the question?
yes. Yes. I understood. Yeah. What happen if it fails in
Yes.
the init state only?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In that scenario, we can place in the process transaction after where we can send the process the each. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
yeah, process.
let me ask you a
Yeah.
different question now. Okay,
Mhm.
there is a queue, right, which you have created. Okay, in that
Okay.
queue, let's take the
Mhm.
example which you told me, right, that dispatcher performer queue item and resetting something, right? The example which you told me, server one. So you have
Mhm.
added 100 items to the queue. Okay,
Okay.
now uh, while the performer was running, right, there was some network issue. Okay, and
Okay.
the performer and the robot got disconnect, right? The items
Okay.
were running item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as
Okay.
it went to the sixth item, there was some issue in the robot and the automation stopped, right? There
Mhm.
was the status is now failed. Now first question is, if I want to retry the items, right, because it was an intermittent failure, the network is now restored, I want to retry
Mhm.
them. How can we
Okay.
retry the failed items?
You we can retry the failed items because the state is already changed to the failed state.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay, first question, can I retry the failed items?
no.
Okay,
No.
okay, okay. Then the second question is obviously gone, right? Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, for example, you are a team lead, right? At a 6+ experience, you are now responsible for managing a team, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are managing multiple RPA projects because you are
Okay.
a team lead. So you are not hooked up to
Mhm.
one project. You are working for multiple projects, right? So how would you
Okay.
decide? How would you
Okay.
prioritize your task? How would you prioritize your resources? And how do you make sure that the RPA projects are staying on track? So I make you lead for 3 or 4 RPA projects now. You
Mm-hmm.
have to make
Okay.
sure that the resources, the developers, senior developers are doing their work correctly. You have to ensure that the projects are on track, right? How do you do that?
So we can use the orchestrator monitoring
No, development.
development side. Uh, so we have
You are the
some.
team lead, right? So you are the team lead. You have 3 teams, team A, team B, team C, who are working
Mm-hmm,
on
mm-hmm.
3 different projects, right?
Got it.
Uh,
Got it. Yeah.
How do you manage them?
So I mean that is coming to technical part, or it's
No,
like
anything
we
what
can
comes to your mind, right?
so
So if
yeah.
I, yeah.
So yeah, we can update the daily meetings, and we can update any developments task. We can update in the Jira
Mm-hmm.
tickets. All these we can do actually. Yeah. So daily meetings that and not checking their progress and where is the project state right now, and if any issues we can create Jira tickets. All these things we can do with the team meetings and the daily schedule meetings in the mornings. Yep.
Okay.
Uh, yep.
Okay. Got it. For example, today you are one of the developer got a scenario where he is not able to find the activity in UiPath. Okay.
Okay.
And now the team says that we want to develop a custom activity. Okay. It's
Okay.
something like any a requirement was there. There is no activity. The team says that,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we want a custom activity because this activity is needed by the other projects as well. So it's better to create a custom activity for this scenario, right? Can you tell me
Okay.
how can we create a custom activity in UiPath?
So we can use invoke code activity to create our custom codes.
No, custom activity.
Uh, Custom
Do you understand
activity?
what is custom activity?
No, not exactly actually.
Okay, okay. Fine. Which version of UiPath Studio are you using?
So we're using 2023.10.
So 2023.10. So you are in the modern version, right?
Yes, we are in the modern version.
Can you tell me what is the benefit of using object repository?
So the object repository is the centralized storage for the UI elements.
Mhm.
So we can reuse the UI elements. There is the reusability option in the object repository,
Hmm,
and maintainability. We can change the selectors, and it affects the all the areas where we can place the selector,
hmm.
and the consistency. All these things we can get from the object repository. And yep.
Okay, got it. Okay, coming to your CV now, right? I see that you have mentioned that you have worked on Orchestrator APIs, HTTP request, right? So can you tell me what was the scenario where you have used the Orchestrator APIs?
So there we have a schedule in Orchestrator for the calendar schedules.
Hmm,
So there would like the month end or the end of the month or the first day of the month.
hmm.
To use that calendar uh, in the code, so we use that HTTP request activity or data activity, and so that yeah.
Which schedule? Sorry, I didn't understand. Which calendar?
Like suppose one process is run in the first day of the month.
Hmm,
So at that point, we created one calendar for for that particular process.
okay.
Uh, so to grab that calendar in the code, we
Hmm.
can use that HTTP request. Yeah.
But why would you like to grab that in the code? There is a option of putting the calendar directly in Orchestrator, right? We can use the cron request.
Yeah, because we need to grab those data from the some other application. So we can use that calendar. So this is the first day of the month. Grab that information from the
But I
web
can always write
application.
a logic also, right? In the code, I can just write a VB code or just one line code, right? Get me the first day of the month. Putting it into the calendar, getting the first day of the month, storing it, HTTP service. Why would you like to do that? You understood the
Yeah,
question? So let's say if I
yeah.
ask you to write a code to get the first day of
Mhm.
the month, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah, so we use that yeah, to grab the, that's the what we implemented in our process. So to get the calendar information, so we used the Orchestrator, yeah, HTTP request. Yeah, but it's a particular calendar for that automation.
Okay, and where is this calendar stored? In
In the
where what place in Orchestrator? Where in Orchestrator?
in the trigger selection,
Hmm?
in
Are you
the
sure we can
where we
store calendar in triggers?
no, we can't store calendars in the
Yeah.
trigger. Uh, Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Okay. So coming to your CV again, right? So you have mentioned that you have worked on almost all the phases of orchestrator, right? Like board,
Mm-hmm.
process, asset, job, scheduler, recovery methods, application credentials, right? So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I give you an credential, right, which you have to use into three different applications.
Okay.
What is the best place to store that credential?
The credentials we can store in the assets, orchestrator assets.
Okay, and then the developers can read it, right? So
Yes.
for these examples, right, for these automations, whichever you have built, deployed to production, right, once the password
Mm-hmm.
expires, right, who is going to
Okay.
update that asset?
So who is so if the assets failed, so we get a notification from the process failed something. So
Mhm.
the who is maintaining the orchestrator production one, he is responsible to update all the assets.
Okay, okay. So you have a dedicated support team for that, right?
Dedicated. Yes, yes,
Okay, okay. Got it. Uh, do you understand what is cron expressions?
yes.
What are those and why do we need it?
So the cron expressions are what we are not seeing in the trigger state. We can build our custom own calendars with this cron expressions.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah,
Calendars.
yeah, we can build our own uh, custom triggers. So if the bot wants to
Mhm.
trigger at the day of first day of the month, is it the working day? So the bot should run on the working day, or
Mhm.
it's run in the weekends. If that is the holiday day, like the public holiday, should it bot run on the first? It's the still first day, but should it run? So all these things we can manage by the cron expressions.
Where do you
So the
write cron in Orchestrator?
in trigger selections only.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I got the point. Okay. So, uh, apart from RPA, right? Do you know
Mm-hmm.
what is document understanding, integration service? All this have you heard of? Used it?
Yeah, document understanding, we didn't get the leverage to use it, but I have an idea of the s- basic knowledge about the document understanding and the integration part. Also, the same thing. We have some,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, but not hands-on experience on those two.
Okay. So today your company, right? The current company you're working, they say that Priyanka, now we want to include AI ML into
Mm-hmm.
RPA,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? How can we do that?
Oh, so,
So,
so yeah, first, yeah, we can do with the 2023.10, we can use the document AI and ML model on this version. First of all, we can check the prerequisite for the process we need to implement. Then we have the requirement. So we have the bunch of PDFs which we need to automate. What's the main advantage with this document understanding is this first it captures the whole screen.
no, 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 no. You went to document understanding, right? So I want to, okay, let me ask a different question, right? So I want to have a
Mm-hmm,
solution, okay,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
where I want to read the data from images,
Okay,
which is, and I have a AI model.
okay,
Now I want to use that AI model into RPA projects.
okay.
How will you do it?
So we have to download those all those prerequisites, digitization, classification,
No, but that is document
extract.
understanding, right?
Yes, yes, but
It's an
it's not.
image.
So we can use the CV activities. We can use the CV activities in the orchestra studio.
Hmm. Have you heard of something which is called AI Center?
Yes, I mean, well, I know, but not complete understanding on the AI.
Hmm. Okay, so you have not done any projects related to AI, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, so my last question to you is, I see that you have also mentioned SAP into your automations, right? What are the prerequisites to work with SAP?
So for SAP, we need So we need that for SAP. We need all app APIs. We need to grab the all SAP information to the studio.
Which API?
Yeah,
SAP don't
actually,
have API, right?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm done with my set of questions, right? Before I
Mhm.
jump to the feedback, right? What do you think? How is your performance in the interview,
No, I have to improve lot of the points what I mentioned in my CV. Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
so now coming to the feedback, right? So your introduction is good. You have
Mm-hmm.
given a very decent, nice introduction. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have explained me the project very well. I was able to understand the question. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the scenario based questions, right, you were not able
Mm-hmm.
to give me answer to any one of the question,
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? And you might have noticed that I'm not asking you the technical questions because as per your experience, which is close to 6 years now, right, you will
Mm-hmm.
now become a kind of a lead or a senior developer in a team, right? So people would expect you to have all these kind of knowledge, that scenario based, how do you design the solution, how do you
Mm-hmm.
retry the failed items, right? And also some of the technical questions you have answered me incorrectly, such
Okay.
as, can I retry the fail items? The answer to that question is yes. In case if it is a system exception, then you can retry it, right? Directly from the orchestrator you have an option to retry the system, retry the failed items as well. Okay.
Yes, we can retry the failed items, but
Yeah,
we cannot retry if the status is goes to the failed state. Also, we can retry.
yeah, you can.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that means that that part also is not clear, right? The
Okay.
basics of queues and
Mm-hmm.
transaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ask you a question on the custom activity, right? So custom activity is same like we drag and drop activities from the activities panel, right? Developers create custom activities in UiPath, which is a very old feature, and I believe you should be aware of that, right? Object repository, you have answered me correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, HTTP request for orchestrator, absolutely incorrect answer, right? Uh, I understand that you might have just written it, but that's not the way, right? To store calendar and then you read. You should have a proper justification that how have you used the HTTP request, right? For
Yes.
cron expression also, you have theoretically you are correct that you write the cron expression in the triggers, right? But the way you explained to me, right, that I am going to use this, we can check this condition, that condition, you cannot check all those conditions in a cron. It is a advanced scheduler, right? So just try to go back and see where and when you can use cron, right? You have mentioned that you have done SCP automation and you do not know the prerequisite. Does not make a sense, right? AI
Mm-hmm.
center again is a must because now all the companies are now wanted to do with AI, and as a senior resource now you should know how do you integrate AI ML into the automation, right? So what I feel is that you might have an experience as a developer, somewhat bit senior developer, but when it comes to actually work as a lead or work as a 6 years experience, there you are lagging. So that's the area you need to improve upon because now you are being treated as a senior resource, right? You won't be getting the basics question. You will receive questions like these I ask you, right? And you have to prepare that. Okay.
Okay.
And second thing
Yeah.
on your CV, right? If you see lot of things you have highlighted, if you see the second page of your resume, professional
Mm-hmm.
experience, client is highlighted, role is highlighted, description is highlighted, responsibility is highlighted, right? Entire
Mm-hmm.
resume is highlighted. Everything is underlined, right? I
Okay.
think you
Yeah.
should focus on only highlighting the important stuff and not the entire project, right? If you see your CV, right, 90%
Mm-hmm.
of your CV is underlined, right? So, and then the remaining half is not underlined. I don't know if you have copy pasted it from somewhere. Last page of your CV is blank, right, which does not have anything. Font is different, right? So clearly I can see that one part of the resume has been copy pasted in between, right? So it is very obvious by looking at your resume, right? So try to make the resume crisp, clear. Put only the
Mm-hmm.
things which you can answer to the interviewer, right? A lot of things are there which I asked you was from your resume only. If you would have not put in the resume, I would have not asked, right? But since you have put the resume, I have to ask, right?
Yeah,
So work on the resume also.
sure, sure. Yep.
Okay, so that was my feedback. Now over to you. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have any questions?
No, I'm
How
good
was your
for now,
feedback?
Mukesh.
Do you think this is helpful?
Yes, Mukesh. So, what's the areas I need to improve? It's very helpful for me and go through my resume and what areas I have to highlight, and all this is very helpful information, Mukesh.
Okay, okay, great. Glad it was helpful and thank you for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Okay, so that is all for this video. I would like to wrap this video here. I hope this was insightful. If you have any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments, or you can also drop me an email as well. I would appreciate your feedback on the video and tell me in the comments what would be the next topic or next video you want to see. So with that, I would wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel, and happy automation.